Hello, good morning, and welcome to this Dawn Busters Taste Challenge of two silver rums from the Caribbean. This is Sköl. Sköl. Sköl means cheers in like the Scandinavian languages. There's a Sköl beer, but I've never seen Sköl beer anywhere around here. All right, so it's called Sköl dry white rum, and it's got a shield with a castle on it, and a rum barrel, and three fleur-de-lis, and it says Sköl below it, and it's got two griffins and a crown, so I don't know what that's supposed to represent. It's from J.A. Doherty's Sons in Owensboro, Kentucky, but there's no company anymore called J.A. Doherty's Sons. That's simply a name under the umbrella of Glenmore Distillery in Owensboro, Kentucky. And anyway, Glenmore is under the control of Sazerac because Sazerac bought Glenmore years ago. So it's a Sazerac brand. You can tell it's a Sazerac bottle with the lip at the bottom. It's the standard Sazerac bottle. They have about 5 different ones, though. They use 5 or 6 different ones. A lot of times you can tell it's a Sazerac bottle by just the bottle design. Maxwell says, good morning, Ron. Good morning to you, Maxwell. Peace to you in Russia. All right. So that's it. I got this liter bottle for $6.99. True story at International Market. Now I think the price is going up. They still carry it, but the price is going up. It's not $6.99, but yeah, I guess it's about $8.99 a liter now. But I bought this a good number of years ago now. At this point, now the competitor is from 2016. I don't know when this came out. Oh yeah, Sköl, 1956. 1956. Doherty started his liquor company in the 1800s, and it was an independent company. He didn't do much with it. They said, I read a history about it. His 2 sons really got the company going. That's why after he died, it was J.A. Doherty's Sons Company. But both of those brothers died in the same year, 1919. And the family who inherited it, they didn't want it. I mean, with Prohibition coming along, they really didn't want it. So it was sold off, and it just kept under wraps. And I guess some of the equipment, maybe the property, whatever they did with it. But it's still, the name's still going along, but it's just a name today. Okay. And it's put on some products. Now here's Boquerón, introduced in 2016. 2016. It's from somewhere in the Caribbean. It doesn't specify. It just says Caribbean silver rum. Now they're talking about Boquerón Bay in Puerto Rico, so that's maybe a hint. But I don't think it's specifically. There's that rope. See the rope tied around the neck and tucked under here? So it's tied real tight, and it's a wooden cap with a neoprene stopper. I really don't think it's specifically from Puerto Rico because they would say that. I just think it's a blend of different Caribbean rums that they got a deal on, a deal. East Coast Liquor Reviews says, good morning, Ron. Good morning to you. You're up early. Tanner's up early. All right. Man, the price I got for this is crazy. I mean, the price I paid for this, I didn't get the price. I paid the price. It's got a B in Boston, the label. $6.99. Sounds like a lie, doesn't it? But it's not a lie. They had it at Rouse's for $7.99. $6.99. The gold was $7.99. Look, I got it backwards. The gold was $6.99 and this was $7.99. Oh well, still, I mean, that's a crazily low price, right? Sounds like it's going to be trash, but it isn't. That's the good part about it. It seemed like it should be trash, but it isn't. And then this was $6.99 for the whole liter. So you would really think, now, like I told you, it's going to be about $2 more, at least $2 more now. But you really think it's going to be nasty, but it isn't. But I'll tell you one thing. That oh yeah, from yeah, all we know is imported. It just says imported. So I don't know where it's imported from. Could be, we're assuming it's the Caribbean. I, but doesn't it say that somewhere? Oh, they got the Sazerac number. Real small where they figure you won't see it. But it's you dial it. Not if you dial that number, it won't say when they answer the phone. They're not going to say J.A. Doherty sons. No, they're going to say Buffalo Trace. How may I help you? It's a true story. They're going to say that because that's where they're that office is at Buffalo Trace Distillery. Okay, but anyway, anyhow, I mean, it could be from Venezuela, it could be from Costa Rica, but every other Sazerac bottle I've got is saying Caribbean. So why would they deviate for one little isolated brand that's not even that popular? The answer is they probably don't deviate. Neoprene stopper. It's not cork, it's rubber. Which some people claim is better than the cork because it doesn't dry rot as fast or if at all. Yes, it would after a while. It's rubber. Come on, focus. There we go. It needed light to focus. What is this? I don't want that. Some pop up from Microsoft usually is who sending it. And they're trying to get me to use their Microsoft Edge. I don't like using Edge because it's irritating. All right. I'm not gonna say it's terrible, but it's used to be called Microsoft was it used to be called Explorer? Okay, that was the only thing they had years ago. But they don't. It's not the only thing now. Still not quite right. It's too much, really. But one thing I cannot improve on is, I mean, one thing I cannot improve is that Sazerac produced Caliber spiced rum, which is not even really a true rum. It's what the U.S. government calls an imitation rum. It's made with grain spirits and rum. It's nasty. Oh, that stuff is nasty. Why would they ever sell that? Put their name on it. Well, they don't put their name on it. They put some alias name, IWA Distilling Company Limited. Terrible stuff. Horrible. $5.96 for the bottle, and it was about $5 too expensive. Maybe for 96 cents is worth it, but I doubt it. It's that bad. I put it in a coffee cup today. Put milk on top. Pour coffee on top. Couldn't mask it. Still like, oh, it's a wretch. Okay, it makes you wretch. It's terrible, horrible, nasty, worthless. It's the only liquor I ever bought that was just totally worthless. Oh, and it gets worse every time. It's like one of those products that every time you sip it is worse than the previous time. And I defy anybody to buy it and say it's good. I mean, nobody else ever did a review of it, but I don't think anybody in the world would buy that and say, "Oh, this is really nice." No, no way you're gonna say that. And I don't want to hear about well, the old drunks might drink. They got choices, like say you're like we said, the old drunks might drink. Well, they could get other junk for $5.96. It would be low grade, but it wouldn't be like that. No, baby. I mean, like they got vodka, so-called vodka at Mathern's and Walmart called Sköl Premium and Crown Rust Premium. They don't even call it vodka anymore. They call it Crown Rust Premium because it's vodka with liqueur, natural flavors. Why would you add natural flavors to vodka? It doesn't even make any sense. But I've had the pure vodka of Crown Rust, but I'm sure it's probably all right compared to this fiasco that I'm talking about, ranting about. Now, International Market yesterday, I was at International Market, and they had this vodka, a whole handle plastic bottle. It was cheap looking, man, from Mexico, a whole handle called Lucas Golf or something like that, trying to make it sound Russian, you know. I said, what in the world? And it said pure vodka. It didn't say with flavoring added or anything. $7.99 for a handle. I said, oh, well, I don't drink vodka anyway. So, but it was said made from cane sugar. I said, yikes. Now I know they grow a lot of sugar cane in Yucatan Peninsula, Mexico. So that's probably what it is. It's not rum, right? Rum is made from sugar cane. This is vodka made from sugar cane. Hey, but I don't know what that's all about. But I didn't dare buy it. But maybe it's not too bad. Have I ever tried UV brand? No, but I've seen them around. Cheaper vodka tastes and smells like rubbing alcohol. Yeah, I believe that. I believe it. Of course, rubbing alcohol is made from wood, so it would kill you if you drink it. But vodka is ethanol. You could drink that. But I never buy it. I'm telling you, I never buy vodka. I don't have any vodka. I only have that one vodka bottle, the Nikolai. Green label, premium vodka with premium liqueur. And I use that for my mix-up videos. Mix-up. That was $8.99 for the handle. Oh, well. Large bottle was only $7 and glass bottle of the UV. It's a good price. I know it comes from Phillips Distilling in Princeton, Minnesota. A lot of grain in Minnesota, so makes sense. Okay. This smells like a little bit of sugar, but it's mostly like grass stalks, which is what sugarcane is, grass and like yeast, fermentation process. It smells like a process. No, I mean, it does. It's like, yeah, like that funky aroma you get at a distillery. It's like, I mean, yeast is a mold and it makes things ferment. So it's got that moldy thing. Jim Beam really has that moldy thing. I noticed Jim Beam got the new label now. They got rid of the black cap. Now they're back to the white cap. Saw a whole bunch of new bottles at International Market yesterday. Little bottle, the little 200 milliliters and 375s on the shelf behind the counter. So I said, look at all those Jim Beam all white bottles. Well, tell you the truth, this smells a lot like the other one. It's like the grass stalks, the grass blades, not blades of grass, but stalks of grass, and the that fermentation yeast they use. So yeah, okay. So on appearance, they're both clear. Well, it won't matter. I don't recommend UV brand. Okay. Well, like I say, I don't deal with vodka, so it's not going to happen anyway. One day, which may take 20 years, so it's probably not even worth discussing. One day I'll finish that Nikolai vodka. All right. Would I replace it with something like that Lucas Golf or whatever vodka that I saw at International Market? $7.99 for sugarcane vodka. I mean, yeah, I would, because I would want to try something so bizarre. It would be interesting to try something so bizarre like that. Like, this actually exists. This is a product on the shelf. That kind of thing. It's like, wow, this is really weird. Okay. The next mix up I've got is going to be on the alternative channel, by the way. I got one bottle left of the Frosty Cherry Limeade Pure Sugar from Detroit, Michigan. And I'm going to put it up against Caliber Canadian whiskey. It'll mostly taste like that cherry limeade. A lot of cherry, a lot of lime, a lot of artificial flavor. And then we're going to move on to Pepsi Pure Sugar. Yeah, Pepsi Cola made with pure sugar. It exists. It used to be called Pepsi Throwback. And they had a big sale on it at the local store here. Mathern's had it 3 12-packs for $13. No, I did not buy 3 12-packs. Because they got a deal over there where you don't have to buy the full amount. Like you just buy one of the 3 and they just calculate it that way. So you're not stuck like at Winn-Dixie. If they say 2 for 1, you got to buy 2 for the price of 1. Like you can't, if you buy 1, they charge you say $5, but if you buy 2, it's $5 total. So, but you may not really want both, but that's how they do it. But Mathern's, like I say, 3 for $13. You can buy 2/3, 3/3, or just 1/3, which is I bought 1/3 because I really didn't even really want 12 cans. And what did I see in the international market? A whole big glass. This was yesterday morning. A whole big heavy glass bottle of Pepsi Cola from Honduras. From Pepsi Honduras. That's what it said on the thing. I think that's, yeah. Heavy glass, and it was pure sugar Pepsi. I said, well. And then they had pure sugar Coke, a 1.25 liter. I think that's what it was. And then, they had all these different soft drinks from Venezuela, doggone Panama, I think, Panama, all kinds in the big bottles, all kinds, and they were expensive, but all pure sugar. Now, one of them said sugar and or high fructose corn syrup. I was like, no, no thanks. I want either sugar or nothing. Let's go with the taste. Cheers. So I would like to experiment with those down the line. They all have all kind of unusual names. Fascinating story, international market. I tried to go in their wholesale club yesterday, but they told me, no, you got to be a member. I didn't know. I thought you could just walk around and look at the stuff. No. Okay, this tastes sweet. This tastes like the grass, and there's fermented, the fermentation process taste on there, that yeast, but it's sweet, pretty dang sweet. Yeah, like sugar. No joke. I have a stack of old comics. If you want them, I'll just throw them away. Can mail to you. I don't really want them. I have, but I appreciate it. Somebody might want them. You can give your collection to them. I have 8,000 now. Taking up all this space. It's supposed to be worth all this money, but you say, "Oh yeah, I read that in a magazine." Well, who made the magazine? Oh yeah, people that sell them. It's worth money to the people that sell them. Get it? And you buying them, saying, "One day I'm gonna get rich off this." Okay, go ahead. Believe that. This is dry, not sweet. So do these taste alike? No, they don't. And wait, now let's keep this in mind. What is the Sköl called? The subtitle, Sköl Dry White. Dry White. Okay. Sköl Dry White. So I'm thinking that must be the giveaway, right? Like if it says dry white, it wouldn't taste sweet, right? But then I don't recall the Boquerón tasting particularly sweet. But when you do one against others, it changes the flavor. Like I could take the same rum and go against 5 different other rums. It tastes different every time. It's not really tasting different, But the other ones are making you think it tastes different. It's like changing the way you perceive it. I know that sounds bizarre, or it even sounds like not true. That's not true. That doesn't happen. Well, okay, well, it happens to me, and it happens with whiskey too. So either my tasting ability is faulty, possibility, or it's really true that if you taste a one product against various other products of its ilk, now I'm not talking about against stuff that it's not related to, but of its ilk, it'll make it different every time. That's my experience. So sweet. This cannot be. How can that be the Sköl if they call it a dry white and it's that sweet? So I'm going to say, now I prefer the sweet. That's a preference, not a quality thing. That's a preference. Some people can't differentiate reviews, a beer review, let's say, from the personal preference. I see this all the time. They'll make a video. Oh, this stout is really chocolatey, but I hate chocolate, so I'm going to give it a C minus. And I'm like, wow, that's really a terrible review because A, they're telling you on the bottle it's a stout made with chocolate cocoa nibs. You knew that when you bought it. Then you're talking about how it is well made and so forth, but you personally don't like chocolate, so you're going to give it a C minus. I mean, if you weren't going to give it a fair review, why you even bought it? It says chocolate stout made with cocoa nibs. It's there. There it is right there in front of you, and you bought it, and you're going to give it a low score. When I see those videos, I just shake my head like, do you think about what you're saying before you make the video or during the video? Like, what is this? I mean, it's mostly an audio, right? Because like these videos, just somebody sitting there talking about it. So you probably like me, you be like dusting the house or fiddling with other things while you're listening to it. Or you might be working on an airplane model or something. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't sit there and just look at it because there's nothing to see. It's somebody holding a bottle of stout. Well, it's dark. You're looking at it for a second. Oh yeah, it's dark, like you said. You don't have to just sit there and keep looking at it. And some people do that with my videos, like, well, at the 4-minute mark, you wiped your eye, and I was like, why are you looking at that? I don't do that personally. Some people be in their car listening to it, or in the car on YouTube. So I don't understand that. Just even if I'm at church and the priest is making a homily, it might go on 15 minutes where he's talking. I'm not going to just sit there and be looking at him the whole time because I know what Father David looks like. He looks the same every week. He gets older. I get older. We all get older. I mean, that's okay. So he looks the same as 4 years ago when he came there, but except that he's older now. Okay. So, you'll be brushing your shirt off or looking at something, you're trying to pay attention, looking outside. Oh, look, it's sunny out there. Trying to pay attention. It's just a normal way. Now, if it's a video that's based on a movie, if I'm watching Rocky. Well, yeah, you're looking at it. It's a movie. Every scene changes. So I was watching a documentary. Okay, a documentary, every scene changes. Now, if it's an hour-long interview of somebody sitting in a room, then that doesn't change. They're both fine. They're the same price, basically. So you're actually getting a better value with the Sköl because you're getting a whole liter. I've never seen it in 750s, but they probably around. But Sköl, you're getting 25% more product, and you're paying the same price, so you may as well get Sköl, assuming you like dry rum. So if something dry really turns you off, like you say, oh, Bud Dry, I bet that was terrible. Bud Dry. A lot of people wouldn't drink it because they thought it was dry. They didn't understand that just meant it wasn't sweet. It was a crisp finish. Didn't save it though. They couldn't sell it. I was probably the only person buying the doggone stuff. 12 packs. To me, it was really good, and I used to get 12 packs of $5.98, and up until 2010. So they discontinued it. That whole dry beer thing did not go over. It lasted about 21 years. But I don't think, they had Labatt Dry. I think they were the first, and then they had some Japanese beers. It was really the Asahi extra super dry, right? Asahi, and then they had Olympia Dry. I have a can of that Olympia Dry, if you can believe it. Good stuff too. They made Michelob Dry. Have 2 bottles of that. Still have the beer in it. Wouldn't dare drink it. Bud Dry, and they had a few others. Oh, they even had Keystone Dry for 10 minutes. I wish I'd have gotten a can of that. Doggone it for my collection, but I never saw it. And yeah, it just didn't resonate with people. All right, except for me. All right, I'm gonna say this is the Boquerón, and I prefer it because it's sweeter. Personal preference, but quality they're a tie. It's a tie. Not neither one better than the other. It is the Boquerón. Good. I followed my better judgment. Now, yesterday I won't start arguing with myself. If you saw the video, I wanted to start, or if you heard the video, I want to start arguing with myself. Say, well, maybe it's not that. Well, maybe let me change my answer, and then I got it wrong. It's like every time I do it, I get it wrong. I had a dream last night. I was taking a test. I mean, it didn't make any sense. Like the dream was like totally didn't make any sense. And I was like saying, "What's the answer?" or something. And I don't even like. There was no. It was a school, and it was like, well, it's like you wake up and you say, "Why did it even make any sense?" It's like I haven't been in school in almost 30 years. It is 30 years, 31 years. So I mean, how these dreams are. You say, what if you're the prophet Daniel? Then you can interpret dreams that might have some actual significance. Like, but I'm not Nebuchadnezzar. I'm just a guy doing videos that don't have much importance. Well, actually, none really. But if I'm Nebuchadnezzar, okay, that's different. Or somebody like that. All right. That's a fun story. I love reading that story because it's so funny about how these people who are scam artists get caught up in their own scam, like these soothsayers, these what you call them psychics in the Babylonian Empire. They were making so much money off the royal family over there, and he was like, "I had this dream, and it's troubling me. It's driving me nuts, crazy, whatever he said, something like that." The emperor, the Babylonian emperor. Nebuchadnezzar, and they were like, "Oh yeah, well, sure, that's our job. That's what we're here for. Interpret dreams." He said, "Well, I don't even remember what the dream was, but it's important or whatever." And they said, "Well, we have to know what the dream is to be able to interpret it." So then he got angry. He was like, "Oh, okay, I see how this works. You're not really a psychic. I tell you stuff and you just make it up." You just make it up, and then I'm supposed to say, "Oh, I'm amazed by your occult knowledge." So then he had them all executed. But he's a Middle Eastern emperor, so he had them and their whole family killed. You know how they do out there. So he didn't just kill the frauditors. The scam artists, had them and their whole family killed. All right, so and they said, well, there is this one guy. He can interpret dreams or whatever. He's got like this gift. And he said, oh, I ought to kill him too, basically because he's a scam artist. But then Daniel came and said, he said, I'll tell you what the dream was. Told him what the dream was about. And he was like, you're right. That was I can remember now. Like I can remember. Yeah, that was the dream. But what does it mean? What does it mean? He said, well, it's a prophecy. It means what's going to happen in the future in world history. Oh, you couldn't get over that. So that's a good story. All right, anyway. So you see, he proved that he wasn't a fraud because he told him what the dream was. He couldn't remember. He didn't just say, well, yeah, tell me the dream and I'll interpret it. That's a good story. All right. Anyway, I'm sipping on this Sköl, and it's dry as a bone. I got to say one thing: the label is correct. It's not a phony thing. They're not trying to play games with you. They're saying it's dry white, and it is dry, not white. I never saw white. I thought white was like, a sheet of paper. This is clear. They ought to call it dry clear, not dry white, because it ain't white. But you know how they call that stuff. All right, so like white beer. You ever had white beer? It's not white. It's not even close. It's like gold or straw. There's nothing white about it. All right, maybe the head, and that's even off white. So no, I mean, anyway, that's it. Cheers to the rums, but personally, I will go with the Boquerón because I like the sweeter one. And I was shocked by how sweet it was in this comparative sense, because I thought it was much drier than it is. But I got a little shocked this morning. So tomorrow we're bringing another Sazerac brand, and it's going to be, I think, Ron Pontalba. And that's only from 1989. Some of the people say only. Yeah, only 34 years ago. It's not that long ago in the world of liquor. All right, thanks, everybody.